Welcome back. It is 38 minutes past the hour. The Mau Forest Complex, the Mount Kenya, the Aberdares, the Cherangani Hills and Mount Elgon have been listed as the most crucial water towers that needed monitoring. Now, these 5 water towers are the backbone of the country's economy, which provides 75% of its renewable water resources. Laikipia provides the backbone of the Mount Kenya Tower and is a source of water to the over 8 million residents from Mount Kenya and Nairobi. But population pressures are compromising the catchment area. In studio, I am joined by Stanley Kirimi, who is the coordinator of the Laikipia Wildlife Forum, who has been in the forefront in conserving the environment. Stanley, many thanks for joining us on Morning Express. Let's begin with the mandate of the Laikipia Wildlife Forum.
Okay, Laikipia Wildlife Forum was founded in 1992. And its main mandate was to look at the natural resources and management of the natural resources. And I'm from Mount Kenya Ewaso Water Partnership, which is a part of Laikipia Wildlife Forum. And it is looking specifically to water. And the Laikipia Wildlife Forum is our secretariat. And because of their long history around this region, we found it fit to be part of that experience and also to ride on their back in terms of their vast experience in the area and their vast interaction with all the actors in the area.
All right.
Yeah.
Of course, forests are the major water catchment areas in the country. But of course, like I just read out, the major catchment areas now are in dire need of help. Why is that?
First of all, we have very serious climate change, which is real. Secondly, we have a very big influx of human population coming to those areas. And thirdly, we also have very clear rules on what we need to do about the mountains that are water towers. But unfortunately, there seems to be a disconnect in terms of the way we run and the way we manage our very important water towers in this country.
Right. So that being said, where does that leave us in terms of water availability, not just in Nairobi, but in the country as a whole?
Now, it's very serious that we are not looking at the areas that are really feeding us in water. And we are continually destroying our forests. We are continually interfering with the ecosystem that is in the mountain that retains the water that every activity, every economic activity is dependent on. And it's one of those things. Kenyans, the way they are, very selfish, they have a way of wanting to get things very quickly and enriching themselves very quickly. And we need to have some bit of order in the way we manage our resources.
Right. So how do we manage them? Because some of the issues affecting these resources are beyond human intervention in terms of drought, for example, in terms of global warming, which is a man-made phenomenon, but it's seemingly very difficult to reverse. So how do we begin to again take care of water catchment areas?
Now, what we need to do is, first of all, to accept that we have the climate change, and it's a phenomenon that is affecting the whole country, and we must be able to put resources in our own area to ensure that we at least mitigate against some of the effects of the global warming. Now, some of the things that we need to be able to do is just to mitigate, to be able to be wary of our catchment areas, to be wary of the mother nature, and the mother nature will never forgive us for the things that we've done wrong. For example, on the Mount Kenya Ewaso Water Partnership, that is in between Aberdares and Mount Kenya, we've had very serious people getting into the forest. We have perennial fires around Mount Kenya, and it is so sad. It's on the leeward side, yet it is the one that has really been affected by human destruction. And for example, if you look at the waterways, they look like open, naked waterways, and it's because the human nature, they have gone on with the destruction of the trees, and it's very, very, very sad. Now, we need to get in, the national government needs to get in, the county governments needs to get in, and think seriously on these catchment areas that are being affected.
And this, of course, is a very important issue, because we're dealing now with food scarcity and drought, and this still finds its way to the issue of water conservation. But let's also focus on the fact that we have human settlement that has also led to the degradation of forests globally, really. But the population continues to increase, and there's a likelihood that more people are going to be encroaching on forest cover. So what does the Laikipia Wildlife Forum prescribe as a solution? Maybe perhaps having Kenyans build trees elsewhere, having Kenyans have that culture of conservation, perhaps?
For example, I will specifically talk about water. Now, we have very well set out rules by the government, by the national government, and the national government has put structures in place in terms of water, in terms of how we need to conserve. But, of course, the enforcement of the laws, that's what is lacking. Now, if you look specifically to water, you'll find that the actors in water are people who need that water, yet they are not conserving it in any way, yet they are not preserving and conserving the catchment that is around them, and it's actually very, very sad. Now, if you look at the dynamics of a Wasonyiro basin, a Wasonyiro water basin is one of those basins. We have 6 of them in the country, and it covers about 36% of the area, the total Kenya area. And it's the one that has the least water. And it covers 10 counties, from Meru, Laikipia, Nyeri, all the way to Somali. And it feeds the whole of that region. The whole of that region carries a lot of potential in terms of pastorism. It carries a lot of wild animals that are there and preserved. Actually, the majority of the wild animals in this country are in that region. And we need to think seriously about the one item, one resource that really maintains and makes those the wild animals to stay there, the humans also to be comfortable and to go on with the activities.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us a picture of how dire the situation is in terms of statistics, because just focusing on the water catchment areas, the main forests account for about 75% of water used in Nairobi and the likes of Laikipia around the Mount Kenya region. But looking at the situation now, is this water enough to sustain this population?
Yes. The present current water volumes that we have, for example, in this particular region, is enough to sustain more than six times the population it's supporting.
Then why haven't we been seeing issues of water rationing, especially in Nairobi and the Mount Kenya region? Okay,
let me talk specifically about the Mount Kenya region. We have 2 seasons in the year, rainy seasons, and these 2 rainy seasons, if and when it fails, it becomes a very, very, very serious issue. For example, in the last drought, we never had enough rains in October, November, and all the way to May. We haven't had any rains up to May. And this has created a lot of problems in terms of competing needs of water. The people in the upper region have been going on with the activities, but this has also been affected. That's why you find today a bag of 90 kg potatoes is going for 7,000. We are talking about food stuff. We are talking about the support of the economy. We've also seen conflicts coming from the people who are using the water in the downstream, thinking that the people upstream are the ones that are consuming all the water.
Right.
And this water is not enough. So what we need to come out with is a program, a very integrated program where we are conserving water when it is there. Like now, there's plenty of it, and we are looking at it, and it's all going to waste.
Right, because that was the next question. Looking in terms of water conservation methods, keeping in mind that there's an ever-increasing population and the fact that climate change continues, these are issues that seemingly cannot really be controlled immediately, so to speak. So what methods of water conservation, especially technological ones, can we use that have been tried and tested?
Okay. At the present time, we will start with the household. Wherever you are in Kenya, we start with the household. Why are you looking at the rain? You don't even harvest it, and it goes, and you are just going to the tap, opening it, without seeing the resource that is actually within your reach. So we must start with the individuals and a mind change in terms of how do you see this resource. It's infinite. It's not infinite. It's very finite. And we need to be able to conserve it, harvest it during its time, during the times of plenty, and use it later. So we need the individuals to change their mindset. We need also, we have a lot of actors in terms of water projects, rural water projects that are actually consuming a lot of water. They need to go out of their way, do the collaboration with the county government, do the collaborations with the national government, and have water pans from anywhere, from hard surfaces, from roads. We need to conserve that water that is running to waste, taking away all the fertile soils from our land and being taken to Indian Ocean or wherever, or to Lake Victoria. We need also to look at a very well-planned system by the national government in terms of conserving this water so that it can be used for a longer time. Now, if you look at the rule of the thumb by the Ministry of Water, they tell you if you want water for irrigation, you must also have storage capacity for at least 90 days. Now, I think this is the beginning of good things. We should be able, the priority in water is water for drinking.
Right.
The second priority is for irrigation. And like we've seen, with the unga and the shortages that we have, most of our people are having their own activities in creating and production of vegetables and foods and the rest of it. So we must also tell our people, you must conserve water.
It is important.
It is very, very, very important. And it doesn't cost so much.
Right.
It doesn't cost so much.
And the repercussions of it, of course, is trickling into drought, food insecurity, and so much more. Thank you so much, Stanley Kirimi. There is the coordinator of the Laikipia Wildlife Forum, speaking to us on Morning Express on conservation of water catchment sources. And that conversation brings us to a close here on Morning Express. Many thanks for watching. My name is Michelle Ngele. Michael Gitonga is on the other side of studio, however, with the comments and your responses on our question of the day. Remember, we are focusing this morning on the reduction of the price of unga and asking whether that would reduce the cost of living. Michael.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And yes, this is where we draw the curtain for the show this morning. Thank you so very much for watching and participating on our question of the day. Today we were asking, will the subsidized cost of maize flour stabilize the cost of living? Just to read some of your comments, and we have Adams Alilo, who says, lazima ingeandikwa GOK. This government, though. So that is his comment right there. We also have Benafolta, who says, waiting for the branded GOK relief unga. And he says, the highest gimmick of the century. We also have a comment from, Kennedy Omogi, who says that they have not even bothered to check the facts. Finally, law demands poll tally announcement in the constituency level at the National Tallying Center add up. That's Solomon Ambuku, I guess, alluding to what we had in the newsroom today. And that was basically NASA declaring that they may boycott the election. Well, this is where we need to wind up. We have 27% of you saying, yes, it is going to affect the cost of living, and 67% of you saying, no, it will not. Now, from a very dedicated team and committed team that ensures Morning Express comes to you every single morning, we say thank you for keeping us company. This is where we wind up and wish you a fantastic and a wonderful day. But do stay tuned right here on KTN News. Akisa Wandera is up and ready to take up the reins on Worldview. Do have yourselves a wonderful, fabulous, and a productive day. God bless.